The name is Bond. James Bond. There are plenty of video games featuring most people's favourite British spy. He's at least second to Austin Powers. The obvious big one when it comes to Bond games is GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, the game that truly revolutionised first-person shooters and multiplayer gaming on consoles. GoldenEye wasn't just a good movie game, it helped bridge the gap between what shooters could already do on PC and bring it to the comfort of your television screen via a home console. Rare and Nintendo had found the most winning formula for a Bond game possible, and the next game would surely be even better. That game would be Perfect Dark, because EA got the 007 license, and then they decided to make their next game a third-person shooter, and then they decided not to have multiplayer. Then they decided to make a game that was actually a sequel to the movie, only to completely scrap that halfway through and very quickly make the game based on the movie. Suddenly, things were not so rosy for Bond, James Bond, and his Bond, James Bond, but I must confess that I am rather James Fond of this game. Tomorrow Never Dies is definitely not high on the list of best Bond games, or even in the top 10, but as a kid, I enjoyed this game, and I think the movie is a lot of fun too. It is not on the level of GoldenEye, but it's still very enjoyable, and Michelle Yeoh is one of my favourite all-time Bond girls, so I have a lot of nostalgia for Tomorrow Never Dies in general. I love James Bond, and I'm thinking maybe I'll make it a challenge to get mastery in many of the Bond games I played as a kid. We will get to GoldenEye eventually, but I never had an N64 as a kid, so for me to be true to my childhood, I have to start with the first Bond game I properly played, Tomorrow Never Dies for the PlayStation 1. Now for those who have not seen the movie, there will be spoilers for the movie, as the game pretty much follows the plot of the movie minus some minor changes. We start in Russia, a fairly typical place for Bond to be in, where he is spying on an arms deal, which sets the stage for our first level, the Outpost. In order to master Tomorrow Never Dies, we do have to beat the game at least twice, once on each difficulty. We're starting on the easier of the two, Agent. There are 4 achievements per level. 1 for beating the game on Agent, 1 for beating the game on the harder difficulty, 007, 1 for defeating a certain number of enemies on 007, the last one is for completing a certain challenge, usually on 007. Thus for this first playthrough, we do not have to worry about anything else other than beating the level. The Outpost is a typical opening level, lots of enemies to shoot at without any real danger except for the snipers, who will shoot at you before you even realise they are there. Luckily, we can get our own sniper rifle to make this a fair fight. It is easy to lose health and maybe a life. However, there are plenty of health packs, and in every level there is a 1-up. The one in this level is basically out in the open, is right here. Once we get to the end of the level, we are treated to a ski section, where we have to swoosh our way down a mountain, shoving enemies out of the way by jabbing our skis at them, left or right. Think the motorcycle chase from Final Fantasy VII, but with additional watching out for trees. Enemies will push you, which can be annoying, but this first ski level isn't too bad for that thankfully. Fly off the cliff, unravel our classic Union Jack parachute to end this level, and officially be on the board with our first achievement. Our second level is the Bazaar, a short wee level. We have to take photographs of 3 of the weapons being sold. This rocket, the Scuds, and a chopper which is cheekily hiding behind this container fortress. Luckily, we are given sticky bombs to help clear the way. Once we finish being a paparazzi, we then have to get the hell out of here before missiles strike the Bazaar. But in true Bond fashion, he's got to do something heroic before he can leave. We have to find whoever has the key to the cockpit of this fighter jet, because it is carrying a nuclear warhead, and James must fly it out of here before the big boom becomes a super big boom. We of course did this, no problem. I definitely didn't almost run out of time because I forgot I had to press the circle button to get into the plane. Oh, no issues at all. So we get the achievement for beating the Bazaar level, but bizarrely, we also get the achievement for beating the level in under 2.5 minutes. I beat the level in nearly 9 minutes because I faffed around too much looking for the chopper. Now I did eventually do this legitimately, but it did mean that one of the challenge achievements was completed early. Ah well. From Russia with Love to Hamburg, Germany, where we crash Carver Media's party, where James meets an old flame in the form of Paris Carver, the wife of the main villain of the story. She is clearly happy to see him.
I wondered what it would feel like if I ever saw you again. Now I know.
Also, we love using the take damage noise when he gets slapped. 10 out of 10. However, smoozing with Paris doesn't lead anywhere, as just when she's about to reveal a secret lab to us, Ellie interrupts to have us captured and to take our weapons away. Luckily, we still have our cufflink that also doubles as a mini explosive, allowing us to escape from captivity by destroying this mirror, getting our weapons back, causing a few £1 million worth of damage, and then we escape. Present engagement takes us through a Carver Media newspaper printing facility, where we can shoot the annoying enemies up high and make them fall into the roars. However, there are also citizens that we are not allowed to kill. Luckily, they tend to be pretty good at staying out of the way, so I never had an issue with avoiding them. They have no time to die when we get to the end of the level without much issue. The Hotel Atlantic level is a fairly small level. We have to speak to the bartender, who offers to give us a shot. Alas, not of tequila, but of a bullet to our face. After this, all the guards start attacking us, but we turn on the elevator and then heading up for a rendezvous with Paris Carver, which I'm sure will be a nice, quiet little chat before we are chat blocked by our first boss of the game, Dr. Kaufman. Now, bosses in Tomorrow Never Dies, they tend to be bullet sponges. They have invincibility frames, so you cannot just unload assault rifle rounds into them and win. If you're lucky though, you can force them into a loop by manual aiming and hitting them with a headshot. They will recoil, and by the time their head is back in your sights, you'll be able to hit them again. Do this over and over until they die. Kaufman will run around a lot and throw ninja stars at you, but aim for the head, or just keep moving and put Kaufman in a coffin. However, having seen the movie, I know that we were too late to save Paris. That bastard killed her before we got to... Oh, never mind, she's fine, I guess. And we accompany her out of the hotel. Happy endings for all, yay! We will never see her again. Convoy is a level in 2 parts. The first part is a nighttime romp where we are given an infrared sniper rifle to help pick off enemies in the dark. This is a short section. Depending on the direction you approach, you might only encounter a couple of guards. Once we pass the first barricade, we meet up with Q, the quartermaster for MI6, who has repaired our BMW 750 after it was slightly shot while escaping the Hotel Atlantic in a scene I can't show because it was taken directly from the movie. Here, we just have to drive and take out the enemy vehicles with our machine guns and rockets. Machine gun ammo is infinite, but we only start with 10 missiles and must pick up more as we drive. Missiles also home in on the cars, so I usually keep them until the last few cars, which tend to be more armoured with bigger weapons. Destroying the final car of the convoy allows us to move on. In the ski ridge, we once again have to ski down a mountain to reach the base where our target is. This was a perfect level to play while watching the Winter Olympics. I picked up a lot of how to ski from watching those athletes. Look at me as I avoid all the trees and make all my jumps. It's not my fault. My fingers were cold. I couldn't hold the skis properly. That's why they call me Coldfinger. There are a million more skiing guards than the first skiing level, and they are very pushy. At the bottom, we gotta fight our way through the rest of the level, disable the security so we can progress, and then eliminate our target in another boss fight. Dang it, I forgot his name. James, do you remember?
Ah, Satoshi Isagura.
Thanks, James. So this guy works similar to the first boss, except he will throw poison grenades at us? In close quarter combat? Are you stupid? We do well not to choke and defeat him to win the level. The CMGM building in Shanghai and beyond is where the difficulty ramps up for me. I made sure to pick up the extra life in almost every level coming into this, and despite losing a couple here and there, this allows me to be sure that I can die another day, but I do end up losing 2 lives within the first couple minutes of the level to my ultimate nemesis, enemies shooting me from up high. I end up being more cautious for the rest of the level as we activate the elevator, explore the first floor to find the elevator key to get to the second floor, find Kara's office. However, yet again, Bond gets captured from behind. We escape captivity yet again, because the only thing worse than Bond's lack of spidey sense is the guard's lack of attention. We escape, grab the data disk, and we jump out the window to escape. The next level is the market, where we actually get to play as Wei Lin for the level, which is pretty cool. You rarely, if ever, get to play as a Bond girl in these games, and she's cool as hell, so I'm happy. So this is a level that usually confuses my lack of direction skills. It largely boils down to going through the level until we fight probably the most annoying boss in the game, Rocket Man. He doesn't have an actual name, but he will shoot rockets at us, again, from a short distance, which is very stupid, but when we manage to kill him, we can take his rocket launcher. From there, it is about destroying barricades and eventually finding the entrance to Wei Lin's base, only to have to take down the helicopter. It goes down pretty easily with a rocket launcher. We crack the code to decode the data disk, and it's off to the final level of the game. The stealth boat is another level where it can be hard for me to navigate. Though I think the developers knew this, because they put up handy exit signs, and each area is color coded to make it a little easier. Here we have to hot foot it to the comms room to send a message to M, then rescue Wei Lin when she is captured. On the way to her cell is another boss with a grenade launcher. If you can position yourself just right, you might be able to avoid damage. I did not position myself just right, but luckily all I lost was my armor. After reuniting with Wei Lin, Bond heads for a showdown with Carver, who holds the key to disarm the nuclear missile he is planning on shooting. I managed to get a few pot shots on him while hiding behind these crates, but when I got up close and personal I was able to get him in a wee loop of headshots, meaning the final boss was probably the easiest boss we've had so far. I did take a lot of damage, but that was actually from a random guard that spawned behind me. As Carver is dying, he has one last trick up his sleeve for an explosive headline. He has set the stealth boat to self-destruct with Bond and Wei Lin still on it. Oh no! We have to escape, but not before we disable the missile launch. Once we do that, we successfully go the right way to escape quickly, and that is Tomorrow Never Dies beaten.
Hold on!
We now need to do it all over again, but this time on the harder difficulty, 007. We'll be spending the bulk of the time mastering this game on this difficulty. Not too much to report from the second playthrough though. We go through each level again, so here's a montage of all the achievements pop.
Hold on!
So in the middle of my 007 playthrough, I decided to have a little fun when I was getting frustrated with a certain level. I cheated. For an achievement, now I didn't capture the cheat achievement popping, it's worth 0 points anyway, but we actually do need to cheat for a fun, silly achievement for the first level's classified achievement. That's the challenge achievement for each level. Triggering a cheat in the outpost level and then losing all your extra lives will unlock the achievement, Idiot of the Year. Jeez, it's only February and I've already won Idiot of the Year for the 34th year running? I'm on a roll. Diamonds are forever, and so is my Idiot of the Year streak. Hell yeah. Most of the classified achievements are actual challenges though. So I managed to get another one during my 007 run of Pressing Engagement, which just requires you to use 258 or more bullets. By the end of the level I was short by 6, but I just unloaded onto the wall, screw you all, and the achievement was fulfilled. I'm seemingly losing my voice while going through this recording, so if I sound a bit different for the rest of the recording, I apologies. Once I had finally beaten the game in 007, it was time to clean up the rest of the classified achievements. My final task before I become the man with the golden badge on RetroAchievements. I thought I was going to have a big issue with not setting off the alarm in the Carver Media part level. Even when I tried to be sneaky before, I always seemed to set off the alarm after killing the first enemy. Usually a headshot with the PPK is a silent kill, but doing that to the first guard alerts the guards in the next room. You can do a melee stealth kill by crouch walking up behind the guard and pressing the weapon button, and he'll snap the goon's neck. This works. After that I just pepper the guards in the next room before they can set off the alarm, destroying the alarm in the process. The other alarm is in this room, and as soon as you open the door, the henchmen will run towards it. If you're prepared, you can just start blasting as soon as you open the door, and you should get him before he can set off the alarm. After that, the rest of the level was a breeze. No one knew I was there. I was like a spectre. For Hotel Atlantic, I'd actually failed to get the Exterminator achievement during my initial 007 run. However, the classified achievement for this one is for killing 70 enemies, so I figured 2 birds, 1 assault rifle. Bond has a license to kill, and he will need to use it here. Throughout the level, guards will continuously spawn, unlike in most other levels, which does not respawn enemies once killed. This means you can just walk back and forth and warm bodies will pop up in order to be turned into cold bodies. You still have to finish the level successfully though, so what I did was that I made sure that I made a beeline straight for the boss, and then once I defeated him, I'd go back and get my body count up to just until I was a couple away from hitting 70. Then I rescued Paris. It's easy to lose a bit of health in this level if an enemy spawns behind you, so it's worth coming in with as many lives as possible so you can soak up some extra hits. Once you have 70 kills, you can escape with the girl and the achievement. Convoy's classified achievement is for finishing the level with a 60% or higher accuracy rate. However, the accuracy only takes into account the first part of the level while you were on foot. As I mentioned before, you were given an infrared sniper rifle to pick off guards in the dark forest, but if you have plenty of lives, you can do what I did. Defeat the first guard with 1 shot of the sniper rifle, and maybe 1 other if you feel like he's in the way, and then just run. Just run all the way to Q. No one is a good shot in this level, so you shouldn't take too much damage, or any at all if you remember the armor at the start of the level, which I did not. Once you complete the car part of this level, the achievement will pop on the stat screen, 100% accurate. I fired 3 shots. Ski Ridge has another achievement that can be somewhat cheesed but still requires some skill. You have to get 11 stealth kills, which doesn't necessarily mean you have to avoid being detected when killing them. Funnily enough, you can be face to face with the guy as he unloads several clips of ammo into your face. But as long as you shoot him once in the head, that counts as a stealth kill. However, there isn't a lot of enemies in this level, so if you mess up even a few times, and it's easy to do because enemies will roll around, crouch, and stand up, making it hard to aim with their tiny little heads, you'll have to start all over again. As soon as you hit 11 kills, you will get the achievement. You do not need to complete the level for it to pop. I am skipping the CMGN level for now because it can be done in Agent, but when I started my 007 playthrough, it saved over the Agent file. So I have to wait until I'm done with 007 before going back to Agent. So we head into the market instead. Now this level's challenge is to end the level with full medkits, full assault rifle ammo, full rockets, and at least 1 extra life. This isn't too bad luckily, though it did take me a lot of attempts until I finally got the run correct. For the win and run, I only used the PPK. For Rocket Man, I just ran around this block in the middle. If you play it right, he will not be able to hit you at all. And then made sure after I killed the helicopter to kill the remaining guards before finding the secret entrance to this section that has heavy armor, an ammo crate, and 4 large medkits. Large medkits count for 2 normal medkits, so as long as you have at least 2 medkits in your inventory by this point, you will end the level with 10, and guards should not spawn anymore, so you can end the level picking up the rocket ammo from the helicopter boss arena, and the achievement is yours. The final level, the stealth boat, you have to beat the level without armor and only using the PPK. This is a nightmare. If you're doing this, do yourself a favor, get as many lives as you can going into this level. The level itself isn't too hard, but enemies can destroy your health if they catch you unawares. For me, it was a lot of trial and error, knowing when to stealth and when to run and gun. Little by little, we got closer and closer to the end. At one point, I even made it to the final room of the entire game before losing my final life. Remember that there are 2 boss fights in this level, and both have spots you can stand to avoid most of the damage. Behind the tall crates for the grenade launcher, and again behind the crates during the Carver fight. Aim for headshots when you can. Carver is a bit trickier because he will hide behind the wall for most of it, though you can use the grenade launcher to get some big splash damage if you aim it well. Throughout my failed attempts, I really learned the layout of this level, so escaping wasn't an issue. Even during times when I forgot to grab the key or forgot to disable the launch, if you know where you're going, it takes like 30 seconds to go from the missile launch to the exit. Survive the final ambush and escape once again with Wei Lin with another achievement.
Hold on!
So now there's just 1 achievement between us and mastery. We have to go back to the CMGN level to finish what might be the hardest challenge in the achievement set. We have to beat the entire level without taking a single point of health damage. Armor damage does not count thankfully, but there is a further twist. The first part of the level, you gotta get to the first light armor here. There is one guard in front of it and 3 to the left. I headshot the one guard with the PPK, run up to the armor, stealth kill the guy on the right side, and usually assault rifle the rest. From there, it's just about killing as many guards who are in your way, grabbing the heavy armor here when the light armor is about to, or has, run out. Get the elevator key, open the panel, and hightail it back to the start to go down a floor. The second floor, you just have to run to the left, kill the guards, go into this room, kill the guards, open the secret panel, kill the guard, grab the key, run back to the elevator, kill the guard, and go down another floor. This section is usually very easy. However, one thing I've noticed is sometimes the game will just spawn extra guards sometimes, or forget to spawn a guard in time, only for him to pop up behind me. Keep that in mind. Learn who is meant to be there and when. On the third floor, just reach the door and a cutscene will play. However, the cutscene will take away your weapons, and unfortunately your armor as well. So this unskippable cutscene happens. I always spam the fire button, because as soon as the cutscene ends, this piece of crap guard will shoot unless you shoot first. Like, I mean it. Like, as soon as the cutscene ends, just be jamming on that fire button, or else you will get shot and lose health. At this point, there are no more armor pickups. It's one hit and we're done. We have to restart the level. So we took care of that guard. There are 2 more here that you can just see in the distance if you inch forward. If you're able to shoot them before they come zigzagging over to you, amazing. Then you can assault rifle the other guy, the next guy around the corner. Behind both sets of doors are 2 guards, separated. The tension is getting more intense at this point. One wrong move and it is over. I managed to kill the guards next to the weapon crates. I corner peep around the other set of doors to take care of the first guard. I have been shot by the second guard before. This was as far as I've gotten before, so I was hyper aware of him when he popped up and I was able to defeat him. Now the coast is clear to the data disk, and after that there is just the escape. I know there are guards here, but I remember reading a comment about how you're able to finish the level by shooting the window, even before it fully spawns in. And it works. And then I realized I wasn't bloody recording until the very end. The rest of this footage has been a reconstruction. Movie magic. Tomorrow Never Dies on PS1 is one of the lesser Bond games from the Brosnan era, but I still think it's a lot of fun. The shooting is fairly fun, though you can run and gun with the automatic lock-on. There is a decent variety within the levels, and I think it nails the Bond atmosphere, especially for the time this game came out. The game is janky for sure. The enemies can maneuver much quicker than Tank Bond can, and that can make certain fights and basically all bosses a little frustrating. Any enemy that is high up can suck an egg too. The manual aim, while giving you a view to a kill, is slow and cumbersome, which is a common PS1 issue when it comes to shooters. The game is never too hard. Even in 007 difficulty, you'll learn to work with the game rather than the game actively working against you. Graphically, it's not ugly, and the soundtrack is a lot of fun. I wonder who composed it.
Tommy Tellerico Studios.
Oh, well I guess we'll never know then. The achievement set I actually like, even the harder ones to help test and enhance my skills. The game's unpredictability, for certain levels, spawning extra guards, not spawning them properly, etc., can be frustrating if you're going for it, but learn when to be a sneaky little secret agent and when to be... Tomorrow Never Dies took me 20 hours and 8 minutes to master. RetroWorks says 17 hours and 45 minutes, but either way that is a lot more than the current median of 14 hours and 51 minutes to master. I guess for this game I was double slow 7. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for my voice kind of going halfway through. If you liked the video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if there are any retro achievements or platinum trophies you want to see a video on, leave a comment and I will look into it. Thank you so much. Hopefully see you next time. You're awesome. Goodbye.